Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 67. The circus is coming to town. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and lovable dungeon master, Michael Corley, and with me today, fully restored to his spell scale form, is James. James, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Hey, I'm no longer a bird. It's exciting. But I'm now once again Penton Chalice, spell scale sorcerer, fully back in humanoid shape.
Indeed. And a little muddy gnome himself, we have Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Howdy, y'all. I am Dare, and I am playing Tix Birchmanson. You're very muddy and very upset gnome cleric.
Indeed.
That's your blues singer name now, Muddy Gnome.
Muddy gnome. There you go.
And also with us, the Marincess herself, pause for laughter, is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you will be playing.
I am playing the now fully orcified half-orc barbarian Morezi Mugra, who is very happy to have working arms again so she can hold a halberd.
Indeed. And when we last left our characters, they had all been transformed into animals, except for Osokai, who was simply stuck in his shifted form, much to his detriment. Through a series of battles, you were able to defeat a strange elf woman who had been holding a dragon statue that had clearly been powering this enchantment, you correctly deduced. And by defeating her, you ended the spell, returning yourself to your humanoid forms. So you have all regained your spell slots and healed and are feeling much better now, except for Tix, who is covered in mud. You also, not inconsequentially, are surrounded by a whole bunch of lizard people, the albino ones, apparently the ruling class, who tend to have potions, you have noticed. And the lower class servant guard types are the black scale ones, three of which are currently trapped in a web of Penton's making. There's a few other things going on right now. One is there's a huge commotion going on towards the pens. That is where all of the animals were being corralled. You had also heard one cry out in pain when you first came, though you made the... I will not say bad by any means decision to, instead of investigating that, to stopping the enchantment in the first place. So you have the choice of what you are going to do now.
I would like to go explore towards where the baleful blue glow was coming from and get my anger and work out my frustrations on whoever is down there.
Well, we still have an angry wyvern at our back.
Oh,
we not?
Did I mention the wyvern has transformed as well?
Oh.
Yes, you might recognize it. It is also known as Audrey 3. It has become the chicken hut.
Oh, yes. I'm so glad we didn't fight the wyvern.
Oh, baby.
Well, it is actually slightly damaged because Osokai did slam into it. No, I take that back because I told you all healed. It was damaged and it heals in the process of turning back into the chicken hut.
Right.
And it begins to scratch the ground somewhat confusedly, not quite sure about being a wyvern a moment ago.
I guess that explains the wyvern because they had a wyvern inside.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Penton, you can now sense not only sense Afiel, but actually, empathically, if not directly, communicate with her.
Okay, I definitely want to bring her to me and get her out of this chaos.
Okay, she comes flying over from the pen area. Tix, you start making your way down towards that cave area. You can see there's a great deal of commotion going down around. Lizard people are running to and fro. They're actually not paying a super amount of attention to you at the moment. That may change very quickly. And you actually see one other thing. Can you make a quick roll for me for noticing things about? Add your wisdom bonus.
And that is a nice 19.
19. So you actually see a lot going on. One, this clearly extends much further downwards. There's a whole lot going on down here. You're just kind of seeing the top of it. But part of what you're seeing is there is a unquestioning, just straight up, right out of the end of a Marvel or DC movie, portal, just a tear in space that is just suspended like a foot off the ground in part of this cavern. As you are looking, two of the lizard people, both of them black scale, come out of the portal. And they look around very confused, like not knowing what's going on here. Both of them are wearing some kind of mask. You, living in a medieval world, would not be familiar with a gas mask. You would probably think of it more like a plague mask, but that's the kind of mask that they're both wearing. And they both come out and they're like, and they push up the mask to kind of look around. But since you rolled so high, that's everything that you see. You see quite a bit.
I will avoid them and make my way past them unless they react to me.
Okay, and when you say past them, where are you trying to go? Just further down, or
further down to explore the cave to see if there's anything causing this portal.
Okay, and by the way, the portal is where the baleful blue glow is coming from.
Oh, okay.
By the way, just because I said that earlier and I want to be clear.
Right.
That is actually where the baleful blue glow is coming from. You make your way slightly further down, and you can hear some of the lizard folk yelling at each other. You're not quite sure why. Maybe it's a leftover effect of your transformation, but you can actually understand them. They are definitely not speaking common or any other language that you would recognize, but you can understand them for just the moment. And they're saying various things like, "What happened to the sorceress? She's dead. They killed her." And they're saying, "Well, we must find another. We must find another."
Uh-oh.
I think they have made themselves my enemies. And have they noticed me yet?
No. Partly because you're a gnome and partly because you're covered in mud.
So
you totally pulled a predator on them.
I will walk up behind one of them and swing away with Destiny Seeker.
Okay.
Communicating with him that this is time for justice and revenge.
You actually hear Destiny Seeker very clearly and very matter-of-factly to you say, "Sometimes justice is revenge."
Ooh. That is a 22.
Oh, goodness.
Wait. So, no, that's a 19. Plus 3 for my attack, but the 19 is a critical hit with Destiny Seeker.
It is indeed. So I would like you to roll for damage.
Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
That's 3 dice, but they're 2, 2, and 3. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 points of damage, plus 2 points of necrotic damage.
Mm-hmm.
That is 14 points of damage.
You just your axe just bites into the back, and you actually see those little of necrotic spread out from the wound, and the lizard man just screams. This is actually they were both one of the albino ones because they're the leaders, because they were shouting commands and telling everyone what to do, and not super happy with you. Whips its head around and looks at you. Its eyes are just coal black, and it is furious looking, obviously. not super happy with you. By the way, the rest of you are all currently above ground. You can see this happening just barely in the peripheral of your vision down below. There's a whole bunch of commotion going on up here. Would anyone like to do anything else right now.
Well, since the gnome has gone off and decided to escalate things, I guess I'll help him out.
I as well.
Although I'll start making my way down there, and as I'm doing that, I want to kind of like sort of study the gate and see if I can figure out if it's got a source, or if it's drawing from something, or whether it's just spell crafted, what have you.
Okay.
Just kind of like do an Arcana scan on it, if you will.
Yes, give me an Arcana roll.
Well, that's a natural 20 on that, so 25.
So you see several things. First of all, you didn't need an Arcana roll. This is clearly the same baleful blue glow that you've been seeing for the better part of a year now, since your adventures began. But what you see is something very interesting. Is there appears to be a 5-pointed star pentagram that is surrounding the portal. I told you it's about a foot off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Each point is actually one of those medallions that you had found before. And with your 20 roll, even from this distance and even with the glow and everything, you can tell that each one is slightly different. And that may be why you were never able to make heads or tails of them before, is that you did not have, as they say, the complete set.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, gotta catch them all. That's right. Gotta pentagram them all. But you, with the 20 roll, you suspect that those are what is either powering or sustaining this portal.
Oh.
One final thing, since you rolled a 20, as you get just a little closer to it, there is a very unpleasant smell coming out of the portal.
Interesting.
Yeah, very unpleasant. Not incapacitating to you in any way, but you can. It's like, whoo, yeah.
Like toxic bad, like rotting flesh bad.
Actually, rotting flesh bad.
There you go.
That is that you nailed it in one. And so I think at this point, since you're all going to aid, I think that would be good for rolling for initiative.
Yay. That's an 18.
An 18 for Morezi.
It's a mere 11 for Penton.
11 for Penton.
A lowly 6 for Tix.
6 for Tix. That is going to be our next t-shirt. Okay. And... all right. It actually is your turn first, Morezi. Because of your barbarian stride, you can actually close combat distance. There are 2 albino lizard people down there. One of them has already been struck in the back by ticks. That one has coal black eyes.
All right.
Which one would you like to attack?
That one that won't go at that there one that's already been whatted hurt.
Okay.
With my halberd, and that's a 9.
A 9. Unfortunately, that will not work.
Still getting used to my orc legs.
That's right. You're used to not... You actually tried to gore them with your little tiny tusks, and it did not go well. Sorry. And that will actually bring it to the one who was stabbed. They are going to... you're going to be shocked at this point. Pull out a flask, and they're going to throw it at you, Tix. And they roll a 6.
6 ticks.
6 ticks. Walk into the room, 6 ticks. It misses, and right behind you, Tix, you hear hissing and spluttering as if a pool of acid is bubbling right behind you.
He thinks the plague doctors might be into chemical warfare.
Very possibly.
That's a war crime.
That's right. We'll do war crimes. And that will actually bring it to you, Pinson.
All right. So am I not going to get there in time? Because you seemed to indicate that Marezi was going to get there because she's got her fleet of foot jazz.
If you are going to bonk them in the head with your staff, you will not get there in time. You can start closing the distance, but no, it's not. It's just a little too far to just
All right.
go and attack. Of course, you can start moving and cast a spell or something like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's aim a magic missile set at the one who's injured.
Okay.
Zap. One more of those. That's a total of 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. So it's taken 24 points of damage. You're going to be really annoyed at how many hit points it has.
1.
Ah, yes. So it doesn't quite die. It screams, but does not die as these heated energy just buries themselves into its chest. But it's not quite falling down. A couple of its little vials hit the ground and kind of poof and swoosh.
I'll know what I'd do. I'm going to have Afiel attack it.
You can.
With its claws. With her claws.
You can. This is technically why I usually don't give the hit points, but I will absolutely allow that because we normally don't have Afiel as part of the combat.
All right.
So roll to attack.
Because, hey, she's pissed about all this, too.
Oh, yeah, she's not happy. She's really upset. You can tell.
Oh, yeah, 17.
17. So y'all just, this guy, he's hit, he staggers, and he pulls out 2 vials, one with each hand, and it's just like, Rah! And then this little, it's Raven, right?
Yeah.
Little Raven just comes down, and those coal black eyes just plucks out his eyes.
Yeah, and officially 2 points of damage, so 1 point for each eyes.
This is a fairy tale.
It is a fairy tale. Just each one does 1 point of damage, and that takes him into death. He falls to the ground. The 2 different potions mixing with each other, and his body actually starts to spark and convulse as whatever caustic things were in there begin to eat through his flesh.
Neat.
Ain't that fun?
Ain't it just? And that will actually bring it to behind y'all. You actually, coming up behind you, Penton, you see the albino that you had nearly webbed has successfully picked her way out of the web and is coming towards you. Or actually, what she does is she pulls out another one of her vials and she shouts something like, "Be strong," and she throws it down, and the 3 behind her are enveloped in a firestorm. And they all scream, just "Ah!" And they all take ooh, she was probably hoping it would be less than that. They all take 11, 12, 13 points of damage. All 3 of them take 13 points of damage because there's no way for them to reflex save because they're trapped in a web. But it also burns away the web. So they are now all free. So interesting leadership choice, but
it's a choice.
Which whatever you want to say. And I would like you Tix to make a wisdom perception roll.
All right.
Which is just a wisdom roll.
And that is a 15.
15. So nope. So the other albino was trying to sneak up behind you and stab you in the back. And you see and turn at just the moment. And, that was good that you did that because they did actually roll a natural 20. So they are going to stab you. Fortunately, it is with a knife. So that, even though it is a natural 20, though they did do 4 points of damage. So double to 8. And I'm going to need you to make a fortitude saving throw.
Okay.
That knife is poison.
Fortitude, that is a nice 25.
So you feel caustic poison entering your body, and you just, pray to Garl and stir, and just nope, and push it off. But you do take 8 points of damage from a really nasty knife wound.
Okay.
And that will actually bring it to the 3 guards. They are closing the distance. As we said before, they would not be able to get into combat range with all of you. However, with the exception of one, they all have ranged weapons. And so what happens is one of them fires 2 hand crossbows. So the second one will have a remarkable disadvantage. So that is very fortunate because the second one rolled really well, but has a remarkable disadvantage because you can't really fire 2 crossbows without a big disadvantage. Otherwise, people would do that all the time. So you, Penton, actually feel the foo-foo of 2 crossbow bolts passing by each ear.
Ooh.
One of them just lifts your hair up a little bit. How long is Penton's hair?
It's kind of like shoulder length ish.
Yeah, I always kind of had an impression that it was like shoulder length hair, and yeah, like one little lock just gets cut off as it goes past you. The other one actually is going to throw 2 knives at you, Maresi. And you rolled a 3 twice.
Yeah.
A 3 twice. So these guys are like elite These are elite. I wrote down the word elite, by the way. Elite guard. They are all rangers who are set to guard this person with their life. And 2 of them have super cool throwing weapons. And they all just whiff, 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 whiff.
Perfect.
Amazing. That will bring it to Tix.
Tix is very, very cross with little stabby guy. So he is going to swing upward between the thighs and try and bisect his livelihood.
Okay.
And that is a 14.
A 14, unfortunately, will not quite hit. Yes. Close, but not quite. And he just kind of does a little half step back, moving away from the sparking body next to him that's beginning to smolder and turn into bones. And that will actually bring it to you, Marezi. You are now in the thick of things.
All right, I would like to... Okay, who looks the most hurt?
Well, technically, none of them are hurt except for the one who's dead. So there is the sort of sneaky albino one who is trying to stab Tix, and there are also 3 elite guards, the Black Scales, who are all closing in behind you.
Yeah, I want to attack the one that's already attacking Tix.
Okay.
I roll a 19.
That will definitely hit.
Alright. That is 8 points of halberd ouchie damage.
Okay. So he steps aside to dodge you, Tix, but that's just setting up Marezi as he looks up, huh? And then the blade catches him in the side. He's got kind of leather armor, but it just bites right through it. And that will not bring it to the other one who got its eyes plucked out, because they did.
Mm-hmm.
And that will bring it to Penton.
Okay.
As Aphil just lands on your shoulder after her thing, and you see the remnants of the 2 eyeballs still clutched in her claws.
Neat. I'll save those for components for later.
That's
or something.
An important spell component.
Or yeah. Let's see. I'm assuming I've closed the can't have closed the distance.
Oh no,
at this point.
you were closing the distance before, and now you are within range.
Are there?
Whomever you wish.
Right. Let's see, I don't want to go crazy yet, although in the middle of a fight. I'm gonna turn on my mage armor then, since I'm gonna get into the fray proper. So that will add a +4 to my AC.
Okay. Y'all hear the familiar quick cast and the whoom as the little shimmer appears around you for a half second. And you are now much more armored against your foes. And that will bring it to the one who just firebombed her compatriots. and she is making her way down, and she has pulled out a long, wicked dagger, and she is attacking you, Marezi. And she rolls a 16.
Yes, 16 does not hit my armor class.
Not indeed. So it just sparks right off that reinforced scale armor that you're wearing. No bueno. No, nothing doing. And that will actually... the one who had tried to sneak up on you, Tix, is now attacking you, Tix, and rolls a 2.
Oh, good.
No good. No good at all. They're
very,
striking
very
out
good.
wildly. Yeah, it's like they're trying to decide whether to attack Marezi or attack you, and they fail at both. It's just kind of oof.
One would hope.
But that will bring it to the 3 guards. 2 of them are going to attack you, Marezi, and the third is going to move to attack Pinton, actually. Natural 1.
Neat.
Which means I get to pull out my little die.
These are the ones that got. These are the ones that got burned, right?
Yes,
Okay.
they have all taken 13 points of damage. They are all toasty. And the next one gets a 7. I thought that was another 1 for a second. And the last one is attacking you, Pinton, with a 9. So it actually, the first 2 have conventional weapons. The third one actually has. You would imagine that like raptor-looking humanoids have long fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Even for these, it has like elongated fingers. Think like the first Nosferatu movie.
Okay.
And it is doing some like serious kung fu moves on you. It's just like and like trying to scratch you on the face. And apparently it did not realize you have mage armor, and its fingernails just spark on that mage armor as it tries to penetrate, and it cannot. No good. No good. And that will actually bring it to Tix.
All right. Let's see what more damage we can do. We're going to swing away again.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a much better 17.
That will definitely hit. I assume you're attacking the one who was trying to sneak up on you?
Yes.
Okay. That will definitely hit.
Okay. And that is the full 8 plus 2 plus 2. So that is 12 points of damage.
12 points of damage for 20 points of damage that he has taken. He is not doing great as you slam into him. And that will bring it all the way back around to Marezi. Marezi, are you going to continue to attack this one or anyone else?
Yeah, I'll go after this bad boy again.
Okay.
That is a 11. Wait, no, a 14.
14, unfortunately, just misses.
Yuck.
Oh, that sucks. You only missed because he was being knocked back by Tix. And that will bring it to Pinton.
Okay. Let's batter up on this guy. Swing with my quarterstaff.
Okay. Are you attacking the one who's attacking you? Long fingers, or well, I actually, now that he's engaged you, if you tried to attack the one they're attacking, that would actually be a disengage.
Right. So I guess I'll take care of the one who's on top of me here. That's let's see, +3, so that's 18 to hit.
Yeah, we'll definitely hit.
All right. Let's see what we got. 6 points.
6 points of damage. That's maximum?
Oh, yeah, well, actually, no, because I got a +1, but...
Okay. So that's 19 points of damage that he's taken after the fire damage. So he can't hit you, but you can hit him, and you just crack him on the top of the head with your staff. And that will actually bring it to the one who firebombed her subordinates is closing in, and she is trying to direct the other 2 to flank you, Marezi, to try and pin you in. And she is coming in from kind of the side at you, Marezi. And she rolls a 4. She rolls a 4.
Nasty lizard.
So not doing good at all. And the one that you are just wailing on, Tix, has pulled out another one of his flasks, and he is going to drink it. Gulp, 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 gulp. and then he throws it to the ground and goes, "Rah!" And he is going to attack you. And then he is going to attack you. And he misses both times.
Excellent.
It's almost like he's moving more quickly.
Almost.
But he still misses both times, so it doesn't matter. And that will bring it to the 3 elite black scale guards, 2 of which are trying to attack you, Morezi. Since she failed, they actually don't get a flank, but one of them rolls a natural 20.
Gross.
Yes. And rolls the maximum on the dice.
Oh, boy.
So you actually take 18 points of damage.
All right.
Yeah, so just really... what it is he was actually flinging like little knives at you as he was coming forward, but as he got right in range, he reaches in his back and pulls out a great sword, and with both hands just whoom, just lands a hit on you, and it is not pretty. That does not feel good. The last one is trying to go after you, Penton, and gets an 8. It is just this is just D&D all around with these guys. They just did not doing great.
It's a waste of my mage armor. Jeez.
It's just he just can't get past it. He's just like, wait. I'm supposed to be able to touch you, but I can't. And that will actually bring it to Tix.
All right. Let's see if we can finish off this guy.
Now I'm just picturing lizard mimes. It's like touching the invisible wall.
Yes, exactly.
And that is a modified 16.
That will hit.
That is 9 points of damage.
Okay. Tell me how you kill him.
From the last swing that was recovering from first swing that was an upper swing, then a down swing. This one comes right back up through the groin and into the gullet, bisecting him quite neatly, finishing the job.
That's so beautiful.
It is a thing. It is a thing of beauty, and you hear Destiny Seeker say, "Justice and revenge," and just whoom, right through, and no resistance whatsoever as he falls. And that will bring us... oh, yes, I was going to do something because I totally forgot that Osokai existed. I'm going to let him have 2 attacks. He is going to try and attack the one who just hit you, Morezi. And he does hit on the second try. And he does a total of 10 points of damage. So that one is now taken 23 points of damage as he is joining you in the fray, Morezi. And that will actually bring it to you, Morezi. So there are 2 attacking you. One of them has double long knives, and the other one has a great sword. That's the one who hit you, and that's also the one that Osokai just hit.
Yeah, I'll attack the one with great sword because he's a jerkwad.
He is indeed.
That's a 9.
Ooh, yes. Clearly, it's because you were super afraid of him.
Ugh.
No, just kidding. And that will bring it to Penton.
Okay. Batter up on this burnt boy. 16 to hit.
Well, that will hit.
All right. And another 6 points.
Another 6 points. So that is 25 points of damage, which would have killed the albino, but this one is a little bit tougher because he is an elite guard. So he is still hanging in there, but you have done a great deal of damage. You have definitely done a great deal of damage.
That's right, I
did. And
I don't know where
the firebombing leader is trying to attack you, Morezi, trying to flank you, and gets a 13. Definitely hits your armor, right?
Yeah, I die, actually. This is the end for Morezi.
Yes, you are not super affected by that. That will, however, bring us to the 3 guards. The first 2 attacking you, Morezi. 13 again, and a 4. And the last one attacking you, Penton. Another 4.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, come on. It's at some point, it just gets funny. of the DM rolls. And that will actually sneak on down to... Oh, that's right. That dude is dead. Tix.
Someday Tix will send the DM a new set of dice.
And then you'll all die the next campaign.
Yeah. Well, it will be after we finish this podcast.
There you go.
Right.
Tix is... Where are the 3 guards in relationship to the little statuette?
The little statuette is still... You are in the tunnel area, but like just in the tunnel area. So it's actually further back up, fully out, like in the field. Because it would have been you couldn't have held it and done combat. You could certainly have held it, but you couldn't have done combat.
Right.
So it's laying there in the field right now, unattended.
Okay.
Not too far from the corpse of the elf woman.
Okay. And are the lizard people in the other direction? Or
technically they're in between you and the statue.
Okay, then I will run to the nearest guard and start wailing away on that one.
That would technically be the one who is attacking Pinton.
Okay, I'm going for it. That is a modified 19. That is 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage.
Yes, sir.
So, let us take a little narrative license here. That what's been happening with this sort of like snake style kung fu, guy is he's been just trying to do his best, martial art attacks on you, Pinton, and it's just been going. He's just been going, and it's just been going spark, 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 spark over the mage armor. And there's a moment where he stops and like looks at his hands, like, what? Like, why did that? And while he's looking at his hands, you just see this axe just boom, bury itself into his chest, and he keels over and dies. As Tix takes him out. So good job, both of you.
Yay.
And that will bring it to Osokai, who is going to try to track that great sword guy again, but rolls a 7. And because the DM is rolling, and that will bring it back to you, Marizi.
Gonna attack the same lizard. Do you want to know what I rolled?
What'd you roll?
I rolled an
Natural
11.
20. A natural 20. Oh,
It was
11.
an 11.
Sorry. Sorry.
This dice tower is cursed.
It's just really wet. Your feet are very slippery right now.
I've got to throw this dice tower away because it's cursed.
It has cursed you, I'm afraid. Firebomb Chief, who is still trying to kill you, Marezi, very unsuccessfully with a 13. No good.
Nerd.
No bueno. That's the time for the now 2 guards, who are both trying to kill you. Yeah. Just a 7 and a 9. Why even bother? I mean, really. I might as well not roll. Tix, it is your turn.
All right, let's go for the next guard and hope that they continue to use the DM's dice.
There is one with 2 knives who is least injured, and then there's the one with a great sword that has been hit by Osokai.
I will go help out Osokai just because I know it'll really hack him off. And I got a whole 4.
Ah, gotcha. Just unfortunately, it's just that your axe slightly stuck in the last one that you killed, and you're just like, had to pull it out a little bit, and it threw you off. And that will bring it to Osokai, who gets a 6, because why would anyone roll well with my dice? Marezi!
Let's see if my dice tower hates me or not. Attack the lizard. It was a 10!
I think it rolled into the next room. So unfortunately, a 10 will not do it. Penton!
Okay. See, I've had about enough of this jazz. I'm going to send some boosted magic missiles toward the remaining white-scaled lizard person.
Okay.
2 of those. 14 points of damage to that.
Okay. And I would like you to roll a percentage die for me. And just so you know, higher is better.
And about a 70.
That is higher. Do you recall what I said that she had strapped around her chest?
Oh, no.
Potions.
Oops.
Yeah, there's a so you did a decent amount of damage, not quite lethal to her, but decent. But there's a moment where she looks down, and it's like that moment in the movie where the bad guy realizes the good guy has pulled out the grenade pen, and she just goes, and her hand is coming up to pull away the bandolero, and she just explodes. Just boom. And it's that similar kind of firestorm, but there's also like this green and other colors mixed into it.
Neat.
As the other ones interact with it, and this isn't even bones. There is nothing left of her.
Rainbow explosion.
Erased from existence.
Exactly. And that will actually bring it down to the 2 remaining guards, as they are desperately trying to kill you, Merezi. One of them did roll an 18. Will that beat your armor?
Does the tie go to the defender?
Yes.
Yes, then it does not defeat my armor class.
It is undefeated. And that will bring it to Tix.
Tix will swing away again, telling Osokai that he really needs to step up his game. And so does Tix. That's a 5 this time.
5. He's like, you need to put my beer. Shut up.
Yeah.
And Osokai rolls a natural 20.
Oh, wow.
Man.
You inspired him.
You did.
Apparently I did.
Your anger inspired him. So that's actually 10. So that's 20. And so he just like, and he just turns around and whack. And there's a moment where you and him are facing off with this greatsword guy, and he hits him so hard it breaks his neck, and you actually see the head of the elite guard turn and look at you for just a moment before he falls over dead, just like, and then boom, down to the ground.
Osokai will gloat quite a bit over his hitting and Tix missing. So,
Oh, yes. Well, it is not even so much of a gloat. It's just like a little smug look on his face.
It's even worse.
Yeah, it's worse. And Merezi, it is your turn. The one with the great sword has just been dispatched handily, literally with his hand, leaving the one left with the 2 knives, who has already taken 13 fire damage.
All right, I'll attack that homie. All right, that is a 17, fellas.
That will hit.
There you go.
Yeah, boy. That is an 11.
11. So that is 24 points of damage, which is not enough to kill it, but is very badly injured as you just chomp in to that slightly roasted lizard flesh, and it screams. And that will bring it to you, Penton.
All right. Let's make this hopefully final blow a physical one and see if we can't do this guy off. So swinging with a quarterstaff. That is 15. So an 18 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. Oh, another 6 points.
That is exactly how much you needed to kill it, because you had done 24 points of damage. It had 30 hit points.
There you go.
So tell me how you dispatch this final elite guard.
Be a nice over the head, like wind up swing straight to the face and knock him back into the pit.
Into the
into the like open area where the sinkhole where we're kind of like working our way into.
Okay, gotcha. And you just crack, and his feet leave the ground as you come down and up. And he lands into that mud and just slowly half sinks into the mud, dying and then dead. And combat is over. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Yeah.
You are all successful.
Yay!
You
for the
have
good
a couple of
guys.
things.
Tix is going to go hustle back and see if the magic in my backpack will allow for the little statue to be put in there with my other prized possession.
You find that it absolutely is. And you are able to put it in there. And as with your prized possession, you notice that the weight is not quite what it should be. It is more. It is still more, but it is not, roughly like 25 pounds worth of weight. And so you put it into your backpack, and it is stored safely in there out of range. Would anyone else like to do something at this moment?
I kind of want to poke my head through the gate and look.
That's entirely up to you.
I kind of do.
I will tell you right now that is an option that will not result in your instant death if you do it.
Yeah, I kind of figured if they're walking through back and forth, it's not going to kill me.
Not
I
your
got to
instant
do
death.
it. Like it just a slow painful death is what you'll find.
As
but
the dungeon master, I like people making choices, even if they are bad choices. I like it when people make choices, and I find that interesting. So
okay, now
I tend not to instantly kill you. If you do.
Here's my question: they were wearing some kind of like breathing mask type thing. Is that something that would fit on a human's face at all, or even just like temporarily?
It's gonna be a little loose.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of hold it in place,
Okay.
because it's probably not gonna fit properly on my head. As if they're walking in there out there with like their anti sickness mask or whatever it is. I'm just gonna kind of hold it over my face and then poke my head through and take a look. I gotta.
I need you to make a fortitude saving throw.
Okay. We're just scrolling. There we are. 17.
17. So with the 17, you are not incapacitated. You do slightly throw up into the mask. Because the smell, because the mask could not quite fit perfectly on your face. You instantly know how incredibly smart it was to put that mask on. Because if you had stuck your head in here without it, you don't even know if you'd survive. Like if you'd still be alive. But at the very least, you would have been totally incapacitated by a smell. I mean, you all live in a medieval world. You have all walked past very, very dead bodies, unfortunately, all the time. This is the smell of decay on the span of a world.
Ooh.
Like, imagine a world of decay. I would like you to make an Arcana check for me.
Okay. That is a 14.
14. Okay. So just a couple of things. You are certain, just in the bones of your spell scale body, that you are in another plane. This is another plane. This is not the material plane.
Okay.
But with a 14, you do not know which one. Obviously, one that humans can survive. Humanoids can survive in. There is air here. It's not
technically.
Yeah, technically. And there is. You originally thought that it was maybe like a small hill or rise. You realize what you were seeing immediately in front of you is actually some creature that is rotting. And it is on a scale that you can't quite imagine. It is enormous. It is much, much larger than, say, a giant or even an ancient dragon. It is simply enormous. and it is rotting.
Neat.
And you suspect that's where that smell is coming from.
Yeah.
You do see, one other quick thing that you do see is there are maybe a dozen or so of these lizard men who are wearing those masks, and they are off in the distance, and a couple of them do notice your head poke through, and it's like a and they start making their way towards you.
Okay. I will withdraw and immediately try and figure out how to dismantle this gate.
All right, one more Arcana check for me.
All right. Anybody want to join in and try and help me?
I will be walking up to make sure that Penton is not dying.
Okay.
And I will make a religion check.
Okay. And when you say dying, when he stuck his head through, you saw his body like spasm for a second as he stuck his head through. And Morezi, I would also like you to make a survival roll.
Yeah.
All right. So my Arcana check was a 24.
24. Okay. 13.
17 for the religion check.
17 for the religion check. Okay. So first with the 24, you realize that the application of either sufficient force or magic to the correct sequence of these pentagram will almost certainly cause the portal to fail, likely trapping the ones on the other side.
That's the goal.
Uh-huh.
All right. Is it obvious what the combination is, or is it like trial and error kind of thing?
Actually, Morezi, you actually think you know what the sequence is.
Why
Because while this is magic and you have no idea about magic, you understand the sequence of that you would set up a trap. And even though you only rolled a 13, you understand that at least like the first 3 you would probably hit in that sequence.
Okay.
You're not quite sure about the last 2, but you're almost certain about the first 3.
Maybe I can help guide her through that.
And how would y'all like to apply force to these?
I mean, I've got big hands and I've got a big weapon.
Okay.
I guess I can take my halberd, the back end of my halberd, and kind of push on them from a distance. If that's what you mean by apply force.
No, they need to be attacked. They need to be
Thwack.
struck with sufficient force to either damage them or dislocate them.
Well, my halberd has a pointy bit at the top, as well as just the regular blade, so I can hit them with that pointy bit in the order, and that'll be from a distance.
Okay. Roll to attack.
All right. That is a 19.
Okay. You strike, and you get the sense that there is like a magical force holding these in place. Like you can't just like push them. But as you strike it with that 19, you actually feel that armband of yours
Ooh.
kind of whoom, and you pop hit it, and it knocks it out of the way, and the portal immediately begins to vibrate, just like whoop, 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 whoop. And through the portal, you can hear shouts as the lizard men are increasing their pace, and perhaps you can even see like shadowy forms coming towards you. And I would like you to roll to attack again.
Can Tick swing away also?
24.
24. Yes, Tix, you can also attack as well.
Tick's got a 2.
2. Destiny Seeker makes like a little mutter at you. And so I would like you to roll again, Morezi.
Actually, I want to take a shot at one too, since we seem to be in a hurry. I'm going to unload a set of magic missiles on one of on whatever order is proper after she swings.
The first 3 you are certain of.
Okay, it's 11 points of damage.
Okay. You get the impression that just a regular physical attack may not have had any effect, but a magic missile is anything but. And it sends it skittering off into the distance. And now the portal is just undulating, like in and out, in and out. There are 2 left. You actually don't know which one, Penton. And you think if you do it out of sequence, that might be bad.
It might be bad.
Tix, however, you rolled a religion check earlier. What did you roll again?
I rolled a
Is it 13?
no, it was a 19.
No. Oh, that's right.
19. And with that 19, you actually, for the first time, recognize something on one of these medallions. Y'all have collected a few of them throughout your adventures, especially at the beginning. But you recognize that one of these is the symbol of the god Set. And you know that very well because Set was the god who supposedly originally was trying to enter to your world 1,000 years ago and was stopped by the staff of Seraphim and supposedly split the 2 mountains in twain where your people now live at sunrise and sunset. So this is a god that you're very familiar with, and you think that that is the one that you're supposed to attack next.
I yell that out to both Morezi and Penton, and raise my axe to attack as well.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, goody. Let's see if I can get any lower.
Huh?
Nope. That is a 6 for Tix again.
A 6. Perhaps there's something about your memories of your warnings. Everyone at sunrise, where you were born or raised, they all told stories of Set because supposedly it was this god of death who held dominion and nearly destroyed this region, if not the entire plane. And you actually can hear the people just beyond the portal now. They are about to come through. And Morezi, I would like you to roll to attack.
Yes. That's a nat 20, boys.
Nat 20. So with a natural 20, you actually swing your halberd. It's one of those things where like a really learned wizard or something might not think of this, but I don't know, say like a barbarian who's like maybe chopped off 2 people's heads at once before. You just take your halberd and angle it in such a way that you strike the symbol of Set first and then hit the second one right after it.
Yeet.
And so it boom hits both of them, and that bracelet just whoom, boom. You really feel it squeeze, though it's never painful. You really feel it squeeze this time as it goes through the last one and actually bisects the last little medallion. And so often in movies that one arm comes through the portal and gets cut off. This one is actually, about a fourth of the lizard man comes through, and then whoom! And so just this just slough of like part of an upper torso, part of a face, and like about 7 fingers.
Oh, well, that's
just
fun.
Brum, to the ground. And the portal is closed, and that horrible smell is instantly cut off.
Yay!
And that's where we'll end. Chafing Armor, number 67. Very interesting place to end because there's still a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Right.
And very good choices and very interesting choices, and basically led to 2 combat adventures, which was fun. So good job on just, occasionally it's just good to take the offensive.
Sure.
So good job, everybody.
Partner and stuff. Yeah.
Anybody
so
want a
chop,
lizard
chop.
finger?
That you need that for your other spells components that you don't need.
You never know.
So if y'all would like to see some of the wonderful fun little art that Izzy has done, you can check that out at chafingarmor.com. You can also hear us on the YouTubes we get more YouTube listeners every day, and we certainly always appreciate those. Say hi to all our YouTube listeners, everyone.
Y'all are
Hello,
awesome.
Hi,
YouTube
y'all.
listeners.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Hey, everybody. And for all of our other listeners on Stitcher, on Apple, on any other podcatcher of choice, you can hear Chafing Armor. We sure appreciate you listening.
Stay beautiful.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Stay
night,
beautiful.
folks. Thank you.
See
Take
y'all
care.
later.
And we will roll with you soon. Good job, everyone.